What's up, everybody, and welcome to Day 5 of the Teen Pizza Awards 2015. I, of course, am Whatthefnu, and today I'm here to present one of my favorite awards this year. One of my favorite reasons to play video games just in general, honestly. I love exploring video game worlds. I love seeking out every little nook and cranny, because even if there's nothing there, the fact that I feel unique by being there, like I'm the only person who's ever touched this spot of existence within this world, it's a fantastic feeling. It's a great feeling of discovery, of exploration, of adventure. To just, especially in this day and age, when we have the technology and the resources to create these game worlds that have such incredible details, that have that capacity to let you create your own adventures, even if there's really nothing that the game developers plan for you to find there. And that's why I'm happy to present this next award, the Best Exploration and Discovery.
Best Exploration. Dragon Age Inquisition. Side quests are the hobbies of RPG protagonists, what they do in the meantime when they just don't feel like saving the world right now. However, Dragon Age has a unique advantage in that even playtime is work time for this particular hero. Every single side quest in Dragon Age Inquisition feeds back into your singular goal of making your organization more powerful. So even what seems like menial tasks serve a higher purpose and reward you in a much more concrete way than other similar systems can claim. It's a fantastic realization of concept through mechanics, driving you to go out into the world and find every single way to do it. Something big budget developers should strive for far more often. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. We spent weeks trying to find everything in this game. That last cacklebat is in the sewers, by the way. You need to charge dash into the wall in the bottom left corner of the map to shake him loose. But there are reasons to hunt these things down. Whether you want more survivability or even feel like you have an obligation to the wonderfully written characters, you'll not only be hunting this game's collectibles down, but doing it as fast as possible on repeat runs to get the best ending you can. Shantae has always worn its influences on its barely clad sleeves, and let's just say that the Metroid is strong in this one. Bravely Default. What a fantastic RPG! It's almost like when you give your customers what they want, they reward you for it. And you know what people want in Bravely Default? Costumes. Costumes that come in abundance because of the game's class system, and you'll never find all the classes without some incessant poking around in the overworld, which will coincidentally lead you to side quests, which may lead you to fighting hidden bosses, which will give you the tools to take on even bigger challenges in the main story, and when you stray from the path in the next area of the map, the cycle begins once again. Bravely Default is exactly what you want out of an old-school Square Enix game, and there is nothing wrong with that. Captain Toad, Treasure Tracker. You would be astounded by how much level can be packed into so little space in this game. Treasure Tracker's many puzzles have layers upon layers to them, practically begging you to quite literally poke around every nook and cranny of their twisted geometry. It's an explorer's paradise of touch-and-go design, letting you sink hours into clearing an entire chapter's worth of stages or just sitting down for a few minutes to hunt down a golden mushroom you missed the first time through. Either way, there is no denying that this is a game built on the desire to explore, and will pay off in spades for those thirsty enough to uncover its many, many secrets. Child of Light. Child of Light is not just a game that encourages exploration. It provides you unique ways to go about it. You get the power of flight fairly early on in this adventure, something that many other games put off until near the end, on the basis of that power's potentially game-breaking ability to allow you easy access to all of its secrets ever. Child of Light gives you this power, and then spends the rest of the game creating fun ways to challenge you anyway, giving way to areas that are wide, expansive, and ready to be flown around like one gigantic treasure-filled aviary. You'll dip, duck, dive, and soar in your quest for fat loot, and it gives a sense of freedom to the whole endeavor you will not find in any other game. Explorers by trade are completionists at heart. We love to see the world open up to us through our own efforts, and oddly enough, there doesn't even have to be anything significant waiting for us either. It's the act of knowing, to be able to claim that we know, that is in itself the reward. That said, it definitely helps when devs are smart enough to back this up with solid rewards, something tangible and significant that justifies the time with more than just bragging rights and a pat on the back. Because that kind of thing fuels future endeavors and gives us the confidence to keep on keeping on, which can only be good for every developer caught in that journey that is our collective gaming career. So which game should you add next to the notches on your digital belt? And the winner is... Child of Light. I said it before, for an explorer, the reward is what's at the end of the journey. That's why when a game finds a way to make what has unfortunately become routine for many of us feel new and exciting again, that it bears so much praise. This world made to encourage the concept of flight is extremely refreshing, sparking that same sense of wonder that drove many of us to begin combing every corner for collectibles way back when. Granted, a lot of that is also owed to the storybook aesthetic and the bottomless backgrounds previously mentioned in an earlier award. You don't know what yet, but one look at this world tells you that there is something wonderful to find here, just below the surface. And believe me when I say that that instinct is 100% correct.
Now, this next award is important for several reasons.
Best Horror. Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 2. You want to talk innovation in horror? Try a series with oftentimes obscured but not impossible mechanics that locks you in one place and has all the monsters come towards you instead of the other way around. Even once you figure out how the monsters work, they can still destroy a careless player, driving you from understanding to mastery in a way few games can claim. Time management is key to staying alive here, putting you on a constant mental edge of questioning whether what you're doing is truly enough, and what curves the beast will throw at you this time. PT Playable Teaser. PS4 owners were told recently that a small little game called PT was free to download on their next-gen systems. What awaited inside was a nightmare of grisly proportions, thrusting players into the self-repeating hellish cycle of a man consumed by darkness of his own creation, haunted by specters that make use of geniusly placed right angles and atmosphere so thick you could tie it up with a garden hose. And just to clarify, this is the demo of something even bigger that's coming down the road. This is the proof of concept designed to give us just a small taste of the horrors yet to be upon us. So if the goal was to restore my faith in the AAA industry's ability to make good horror again, well, I'll tell you one thing, I am definitely paying attention now. The Evil Within. As the title suggests, sometimes our most terrifying monsters come from a place much more personal. The space between what we believe ourselves to be and what we actually are is an uncomfortable one indeed, and not something many of us are willing to face head-on if we can avoid it. Games that explore that concept in any way are frightening for many potential reasons. Maybe it forces us to come to terms with that shadow we usually keep locked away. Maybe it enforces a sense of insignificance on what we do, leaving us feeling weak, vulnerable, and small. Or maybe it just reminds us of how fragile we really are. No matter how you slice it, The Evil Within is very effective at what it does, which is scare the living hell out of you in a way you can't quite shake, even after you've turned the console off. This year did a great job of proving that horror games as a business model are not in fact dead, that there is still a great deal of us that desire to explore the things that makes the hair bristle on the back of our neck, to find the experiences that make us cover our eyes yet peek through our fingers, and to seek out the experiences that make us gasp in horror and revelation at what we see through those cracks. Horror is an art unto itself, requiring a skill set many developers have long since abandoned in lieu of cramming in more explosions and action set pieces into franchises that were perfectly fine without them, which only makes the efforts that truly nail it even more special. So what scared us the most in 2014? And the winner is... Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 2. What a fantastic little anomaly this series is. All conventional industry wisdom, and even what many of us personally believe will tell you that churning out games this quickly with production values this relatively easy to achieve is a recipe for disaster. Certainly something that could never be as successful as FNAF was. And yet, here we are. Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is in the works, and the internet is chomping at the bit to get their hands on it. And for good reason. This series has mastered the essential tension and release cycle that horror games live or die upon. You are always in danger, but you can't run away. You have all the tools you need to survive, but not enough time to use them. And you are always one step away from death, but 6 hours from seeing the light of day again. It's the basest elements of horror wrapped up in one ever-expanding set of packages. And we cannot wait for more. Only 2 games left, ladies and gentlemen. 2 games you might not have tried, so we better make them count. That said, Styx Master of Shadows is a game that should rightfully fascinate every single fan of stealth gameplay in existence. For one, the main character is a goblin, something that you don't see too often, and for good reason. Most of your enemies would be twice your size and vastly more heavily armed than you. These are odds that would be impossible to overcome. That is, unless you didn't fight fair. Styx's environments are vast and expansive, allowing multiple approaches to any given problem and plenty of directions to tackle them from. You have a wide array of tools at your disposal, including silent kills and the ability to hide the bodies, several magic spells, and even the ability to use the environment to your advantage if you play your cards right. No single playthrough of any area will result in the same solutions being used, and it's a testament to their design that even when you're forced to go back through them again halfway through the game with increased guard patrols, that they still have much to offer in the way of clever design. That's to say nothing of the brilliant twist in the story or the great fantasy aesthetic, which completely sells not only the setting, but also the interconnected relationship between all the characters involved here. It's a stealth game of modest design with epic results, and for fans of the genre, is more than worth your time.